When Mere Finance started, we were focusing on that, the financial aspect of the markets, no politics. But as we enjoy soccer or football, there's also some topics that have to come into light. In this case, it's José Bordalas, because he's managing Getafe, one of the teams with the lowest budget in La Liga, and somehow he maintains the category, the first division, over and over. So we're going to explain through the lenses of a financial analyst and the analytics how his tactics have revolutionized, or not revolutionized, but become a focal point of criticism, but also of praise. So a lot of people think football or soccer is like the opera, that it should be an art, that it should be built to entertain, to delight, that it should be part of one of the pleasures that millions of people watch every weekend or every often, that really help them relax, enjoy, and touch a lot of those senses. Soccer and football is one of the most illogical feelings that a person can have, but it is still present. There is a lot of illogical emotions still in finance or in other aspects of life that people just need to enjoy. Not everything has a cost-benefit analysis. In the 80s and the 90s, even in the 2000s in Argentina, there were two different ideologies of soccer. And we explained that in El Método Simeone, the book that we wrote. Bilardo, he wanted to win no matter how. And Menotti thought football, soccer, was an art, that it should be built in a way that is enjoyable, and then the end result shouldn't matter that much, but just how you get to that result. Same we had with Guardiola and Mourinho. Guardiola, one of the components in his game is possession, is that you have to build it up, that it doesn't matter how long it takes you to score and to win a game, you have to be loyal to style. And Mourinho was more practical. You just have to defend, you just have to provide intensity. If it's 1-0, then stick with that 1-0 and win. And then Bordalas, he says that he wants to be like Cruyff, which is the father of that possession school. But in reality, Cruyff mentions is the intensity. So Getafe and José Bordalas are everything but glamorous. The most direct team in Europe, top 5 leagues. And we're going to explain what do we mean by that. So Mr. Chip this weekend, Getafe beat Real Sociedad 3-0. And he said that 17 goals for and 17 goals against for Getafe. They haven't lost a single match by more than 2 goals and only lost one by 2 goals. And they compete the whole game. And they also have a boy who last year was in the first RFE, which is basically the third division of Spain. And another kid that has played more in Division B than Division A, which is the second division. And the central forward who scored 1 goal in Turkey League. Then their star player is not playing, and the top scorer is a defensive midfielder. So, in other words, Getafe is not structured. Getafe is a team, it is a structure, but it's not a team that is structured based on glamour. It's most based on results, and being practical and being pragmatic. So you can see here from Opta analysis is fast and direct. So by fast and direct, it means how many passes per sequence, right? If I have the ball and I give it to someone else, how long does it take in order to get into the next field of my opponent? You can see, of course, Manchester United, Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain, they have 5, 6. So this is more slow and intricate, while Getafe is really fast and direct. Just two passes and they're already in the opponent's field. So basically it's the speed, right? Speed is distance over time. So how long they take that distance to cover and in which time. When usually theirs is really fast. They don't care about being elaborated. They just want to quickly get to the other side. And why? It's because they need intensity, because the total market value of their squad is only 62.9 million. For example, Atletico de Madrid, Julian Alvarez last year, or this last year's season, they were bought by 75 million. Manchester City buys 2-3 players every season by 80, 90 million. So you can see the huge difference that they have. And their overall balance in income was 21 million. But look at the turnover. 16 players left, 15 came. So the turnover is really high. And somehow Bordalas manages to keep the team very competitive. 8th place in 2016, 2017. 5th place in 18 and 19. Almost made into the Champions League, which would be incredible. And he also reached Copa del Rey final with Valencia. Look at the stats. Most fouls in Europe, 2004, but they also committed the most fouls, 234, 1,783 duels. So they like to put a lot of friction in the game, which is 326 more than the next one, which is Alaves. A success rate of almost 50%. So 1 of every 2 duels, they win. Fewest passes per game in Europe, top leagues, with a passing accuracy of 70%, which is kind of low. Usually teams are in the 80s%. And as we were saying, only 2.1 passes per sequence. They don't elaborate. And because of this creates a style which is really hard. It's kind of like tennis when you play against someone that has a really good serve. They just serve and volley. You don't get any time to really volley or have a long point. It's just direct. So they don't give the opponent any rhythm. So out of the 90 minutes that a soccer game has, in Getafe's game, the average played is 46 minutes, which is nothing. It's really slow. And surprisingly, Barcelona is also there. And they value quantity. So the quantity is, don't elaborate. Because at the end of the game is numbers. If you have more and more opportunities, eventually you will score. Other teams focus more on quality of opportunities against the goal. So they have take the 5th most shots in the Liga, but the worst conversion rate, and only 1 has been from open play. The rest has been from penalties or direct kicks or corner kicks. They have only conceded 11 goals, so the second fewest behind Atletico de Madrid, and they have the 4 best expected goals against. So it's because they are so away of the goal, they don't care about the ball. The expectation is they're going to get scored the most. And only 1 of their 40 games has had more than 2 goals. So that just shows the paint. They also have the most defensive actions in Europe, top 5 leagues. They have the lowest pass per accuracy as well. Only 115 high turnover, so they press really high up. And you also have the most press sequences in La Liga. Press sequences is when you go and you try to take the ball from the opponent in the high pitch at 196. So that really creates a scenario where you have a team that really just focuses on the quantity. And that's a lot of criticism. What we want to bring in this video is that this criticism it also comes in everything in life, in finance, in economics, in ways. But a lot of people think everything should be glamorous or everything should have some beauty. And sometimes you just have to be pragmatic. And that's the beauty of soccer, or that's the beauty of finance. That some people, some fund managers can build a portfolio out of 5 stocks or bonds and outperform the market. And someone else can build a portfolio of 1,000 and have all this sophisticated strategy and also outperform the market. At the end of the day, is the result, and that result stays consistently over years. So thank you for watching, and let us know what you think. It's full boat, Papa.